six forces that drive emerging technology are evolutionary technology, rhymes of history, disruptive technology, science fiction, increasing returns, and red queens. Technology goes through an evolutionary process. This is based on Moore's law, which states that technology goes through a trend of doubling in power every 12 months and becoming less expensive. In the force of evolutionary technology, a technology's path is predictable and progresses through a nonlinear process in which an exponential growth occurs. Numerous evolutions happen at the beginning of a technology and continue throughout its life. The overhead projector would be considered an evolutionary technology. It has evolved from one of the earliest visual learning tools, the chalkboard. The chalkboard has then evolved into the whiteboard and eventually into the digital projector. Therefore, I would state that both of these technologies are evolutionary technologies. Both have traveled in predictable, nonlinear paths. History may not repeat itself, but it sure rhymes a lot. This is a quote from Mark Twain. The effect or impact of a new development rekindles something from the distant past. Not the technology, but the effect of the technology that is being rekindled. This is the rhymes of history, the next force that drives technology. The overhead projector is driven by the rhymes of history. Visual learning has been used since the beginning of time. Cavemen drew information on the cave walls. Ancient Egyptians used papyrus paper to share stories and facts. Maps were created to get from one place to another. Overhead projectors were just another way to share learning visually. The digital projector does the same. It rekindles visual learning. Disruptive technology is when a new technology suddenly appears and creates a brand new way of thinking about a technological task. Dr. Thornburg compares this to a wild card and obsoletes another piece of technology. An example of a disruptive technology would be the transistor, which obsoleted the vacuum tube. The transistor was originally expensive and definitely not failure-proof. It was only by chance that the transistor was discovered as an effective tool. The overhead projector and the digital projector are not considered disruptive technologies. The two technologies were gradually evolved into the classroom as useful technologies. Neither product caused teachers to rethink their way of teaching. It simply made their job of sharing visuals much easier. Science fiction also drives technology. Many science fiction novels, movies, and television shows have stirred the creativities of inventors.
From city to city, an incredible hysterical panic spreads. As the unimaginable becomes real, the impossible becomes true.
It sounds like the scenario of a science fiction thriller, a new way of creating life.
Human flesh and blood out of thin air is fantastically powerful.
But now, many leading scientists believe it isn't a fantasy. Human cloning is only a matter of time.
Cloning is or will be possible.
The technology is virtually almost here, if not already. It wouldn't surprise me to find that it's already taken place.
I think it's altogether likely that we will see private enterprises in cloning in the next few years.
It's no longer science fiction. A series of developments in embryology and genetic engineering has put us within reach of this astonishing breakthrough.
Who are you?
I'm you, Mr. Knight. I'm your clone.
Human cloning will take place, and it'll take place in my lifetime. And I don't fear it at all.
I believe human cloning is inevitable. I believe it will be tried. I believe it will be done. Unfortunately, I don't think it should be done.
Like it or not, human cloning could change life as we know it. Imagine a world where we could bring back a deceased loved one, where women could reproduce without men, and where countless lives could be saved with spare body parts grown from your own cells. These are a few of the things that may happen if human cloning becomes a reality. Until now, most of our ideas about cloning humans have been lifted from the realm of science fiction.
Stole my face, my car, my wallet, my clothes, and now my girl.
Although the science in the 1974 film The Clones is far from accurate, it gets the most vital fact right.
You were created from a gene taken from the lining of my stomach.
While science fiction is a very important drive of technology, it did not encourage the overhead projector or the digital projector. If the projectors could produce holographic images, then one may consider science fiction a force in this technology. When two technologies compete and only one technology comes out on top, this is considered increasing returns. When two or more similar innovations that go on the market at the same time, it is very likely that one will capture the imagination better than the other, and this is not necessarily the best one. Sony Betamax and Panasonic VHS are examples of this force. Betamax had less failures and better quality. However, VHS is what became adopted. Sony didn't have the more powerful impact. Panasonic made deals with filmmakers before Sony. This force comes from Arthur's chaos complexity theory by using mathematical models. Are the overhead projector or digital projector considered to be driven by the force of increasing returns? One would say no. Both projectors were introduced without competition of another technology, such as the Betamax and the VHS were. The sixth force of driving technological development is the Red Queen. And through the looking glass, the Red Queen that Alice encounters says, "Now here, you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. If you want to get somewhere, you must run at least twice as fast as that." You have huge competition between the two competitors, and all the other competitors are left behind. I would not consider the overhead projector or the digital projector to be driven by the Red Queen. Both technologies were gradually evolved and did not have any competitors that were closely related. Because the emerging digital projector is driven by evolution, I feel that this technology will soon evolve into a more improved technology. Also, I believe it will begin to take the science fiction force and quickly develop into an advanced technology, such as creating holographic images. Holography is a method of allowing the light scattered from an object to be recorded and later reconstructed so that it appears as if the object is in the same position relative to the recording medium as when it was recorded. The image changes as the position and orientation of the viewing system changes, in exactly the same way as if the object were still present, thus making the recorded images appear 3D. I foresee this change by the year 2020. If I were going to recommend a technology to my peers, there are certain aspects that I would consider first. One is the lifespan. Does the technology have a lifespan that will be worth the cost? Also, cost must always be considered. Does the cost of the item fit in the budget? As an educator, I must always reflect upon the technology's effectiveness. Is this technology an effective item in meeting the needs of all students? The last major consideration is creativity. Will teachers at my school be able to teach using creativity and personalization? With these thoughts in mind, I can add the guidance of McLuhan's tetrad and the 6 forces that drive emerging technology to feel confident in my decision to recommend an innovation to my peers.